Hi everyone! In this video we're going to see how to recreate this chair by cartel in Rhino7 using sub-D. We'll go through different processes such as placing the picture, the reference picture, then creating the initial curves, and then out of those curves we're going to create sub-D elements, and after that we're going to link the sub-D elements all together and shape and modify them to get the shapes that we want, and then after that we are going to add the final details to it. So we are going to start by placing the reference pictures. So the front in the and the chair is roughly 55 by 55 centimeters. So I'm going to draw a rectangle of 550 millimeter by 550 millimeter, and then I will scale those pictures so that they fit approximately this rectangle. So the rectangle is here. Yeah, perfect. So I can delete this, and then I'll bring backward this picture, and then I'll bring backward this one too, and I will rotate this one here. And I'll put those pictures into another layer. So the layer 1 that I'm going to rename picture. I'm going to change object layer, and then I will lock those layers so that I can't select it. And lastly, I will put a bit of opacity, transparency on the material of those pictures to be able to see through. So you go into the material tab, and then each picture is a material. So you can select those pictures and change the transparency parameter. So we're going to do the chair in 3 different steps. The first one will be to recreate the curve of those of the backrest and the armrest here. And out of those curves, we're going to create the curves from the seats that are supposed to follow those curves also. And after we've done this, we will be able to solidify everything with sub-D tools. So with the multi-pipe and the loft pipe, the loft sub-D, we will be able to create sub-D elements. And then we will join all the sub-Ds to be able to have one single element. So let's start by doing this. So we will use the front and the right view to modify the shape in the appropriate place. So for example, if you place a point here, you have to make sure that this point is supposed to be here, so that the height is approximately here. So here you see that it's not exactly the case, so you can modify the picture and bring it up a bit. And if you do the same, let's say here, so if you put a point here and then you move this point, it should arrive around here. So if it doesn't, it's probably because those two maybe are not exactly the same scale. So you can change that. So here, for example, you see that if this is a correct point and this is correct but here it's incorrect, it means that maybe this is a bit too big. So let's scale it like this, and so let's scale it like this here. Yeah, and that's better. So this here is aligned with this, and this is aligned with this. So it's much better. Another way to see if the two pictures are at a correct scale, at the same scale at least, is to slide each the two pictures next to each other and see if the foot are at the same height and the seat is the same height, but it's a bit more difficult to do. So let's start with this. And anyway, if they are not at the same scale right now, it's not a big deal because we can always interpret the shape anyway. So we're going to take the ellipse here, and we're going to select deformable, and then from the front we will we'll draw an ellipse like this to follow this shape here. So we'll do this like this, and here, so we can slide this in two like this. Forgot to relock the picture, so yeah, great. So now we have this, and we want to flatten this here. Like this, and then we want to align those points with this curve, because this curve is actually this one. So let's take those 2 points, move it here. Do I have the 2 points? Yeah, this one is this one here. Like this. So we will not have enough points, but it's fine, we can add points later. I'll check the scale of the picture again. So if I do this, yeah, I think the main issue is that it's a bit in perspective, this one. So it's tricky to understand the relation between those two pictures. It's not exactly orthogonal. So you see, if it was exactly facing us, we wouldn't be able to see both sides from here. And here we can see the left and the right armrest. So we're just going to use this as a visual guide, but not like as something which is perfectly accurate. So we can add points to this. We can add points to our curve, but the least points that we have, the better it is, because it's going to be much easier to manage if we have less points. So let's do this to manage the curve. Sorry, yeah. So here it's going down until there. Doing this here. And then this is supposed to go right here. So here we can add a point. No, add one. Like this. And raise this like this and that here. So we can always check in the view, in the perspective view, how it looks like. And if we want to have a better idea of how it looks like, we can just pipe it maybe a bit more, so 10 millimeter to see. Okay, so it's not too bad, like this. Okay, so let's modify this one actually here. all of those points we can align them. So you have to use set point to align points. X. And here also maybe have something like this. So just make sure that the two last points are aligned, so that when we will mirror this curve, it will the continuity between the two curves are going to follow correctly. So here and maybe here, can we move that? Yeah. Okay, all right. So that's the first curve. Now let's say this one, for example. So here we are not going to draw an oval, we are just going to directly draw with a polyline, with a control point curve. So you can snap here with the smart track and start here like this. Second point needs to be aligned, so hold shift and click anywhere you want near this point horizontally, like this, and then we can do this. Like this. Then we can look on the side and adjust those curve. So this one here is actually this one. So yeah, this is going like this here, and this thing is actually this thing. So let's do something like this here. And then here. So let's look at it in the perspective view. So we don't have the top view, so it's tricky to say if this needs to follow the curve, but I would say it needs to follow a bit more the curve. So let's move this here. Like this. Yeah. So those 2 points are they aligned here? So set point X here. No, set point Y. So here. And then here, yeah, they seem aligned. Okay, perfect. Maybe here it's not supposed to be curved like this, so we can probably lower this like this. Yeah. So yeah, like this. And then now we can do this one, so this part from the front. So draw another curve, use a smart track to be aligned with the other curve. Second point, hold shift, and continue the curve like this. How does it look like? Yeah, okay, like this. Here. And then we're going to modify this one and from the side, like this. Here. So how does it look like? So when we'll solidify those curves, they will the pipes that we're going to create out of them will have to cross because here you see that the different elements are crossing. So your curve needs to also cross to be able to make this. So here there's 1, 2, 3, 4 points where it crossed across. So those points here, those curves needs to touch here, same, and here the same, and here the same. So you need to adjust your curve so that it actually work in this way. So here, for example, what is going wrong? Maybe actually this needs to be closer, something like this. And here, maybe this needs to be more like this. And here, this one can probably go a bit deeper. So here. So we see how this shape goes there, but this is not going deeper than this, and that's how it is at the moment. So we can move this here. And then you can try by solidify all your curve with the pipe tool. So pipe, reduce 10 millimeter and look at how it looks. So it's not so bad. Here it's going to be different, but we'll see that later. And here I think it's fine. So this needs to be over this one, yeah. This needs to be under, so maybe you can move slightly this one. And same for this, and same for this one, okay. So let's move that here. Like this. And then we said pipe. So this one, yep, that's fine, and here, yeah, here this needs to move. Like this, okay. So I think it's not bad. Like this. Yep. So then the next step is to have those curve mirrored. So we're going to use the tool mirror, and we will mirror it like this. And I delete this. Yeah, maybe it deserves to be a bit further. Here, like this. So let's join everything. Actually, we want to do the same here at the back. Maybe if we put tangency, yeah, it's going to be a bit more relaxed. Yeah, like this. So then, we have all our curves. We just want to separate in the front to have something like this that we can select. So we're going to use those some curves to do that, to cut the top. So let's do this, and then let's mirror that here, and then so we're going to join those two curves and then to split them with this. So now we have something here. Perfect. So the idea here is to solidify this. Let's join everything to solidify this with multi-pipe, and then here to create the seat with a loft. So here in the sub-D tab, we're going to use multi-pipe, and we will do individually this one. So radius 10, smoothness you want 0, like this. Same, so you do the same for here, and the same here. So what does it look like? Okay, yeah. And then we want to use those two curves with the loft to create the place where you sit. So select sub-D loft, and then you can adjust the shape segment. Maybe put 4, and division you can put yeah, I think this is fine. Something like this. So 4 shape segment and division. So you can put 3. So it's the division between the two curves that you are lofting. So then, no, let's not put corner, neither crease. No, yeah, let's keep it like this. Oh. Just so 4 and 3. Then we want this to be a bit raised, because you see on the chair it's slightly raised. So we can do this, and this I think is correct, like this. Maybe we want to enlarge it a bit, like this. Too much. Yeah, like this. And before we go further, we want to try to adjust the seat as much as we can, so that it looks like the final seat, because then it will be much harder to edit it. So let's do something like this. And also you see there is this part here, so we are going to use the back edge here, and we're going to extrude it like this. To create this. We can also, don't unselect it, you can scale it in the Z direction and put 0, so it's going to flatten everything like this. And then we will offset this, and we will join the edge of the offset with this part. So we will offset it outside, so this part will be offsetted like this. And this will join with the edge, with the face edge that we will create. So it's important to have those in the continuity of the back of our surface, and it's the same here, but here it's going to be easier. But here it's important that we bring this a bit forward like this. And yeah, so I think it's good like this. And then you can offset it, so use the offset command, use flip all. And the distance we can put 10 maybe. Press enter. So it's a bit thin. So let's try a bit more. So offset sub D. Flip all, and let's put 20. Let's try with 20 millimeter. So I think that's not too bad. Yeah, I think that's alright. In the next video, we're going to see how to link those all those sub-D elements and how to adjust the geometry that it fits what we want to achieve.